Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Yultide Ezekiel, who is going to be another character joining the Winter Kingdom. He is going to be released as an Ultra Token character. Visually he's looking very Santa Claus, that's for sure. As you can see on the right hand side, he's got his bag of goodies on his back. He's also got that lovely coat on, looks nice and warm. He does potentially look like a strong character here, but I can confirm he is an alert character. He actually has like a gun on the cane, as you can see with the noise and stuff like that. He's got a lantern in his hands. He looks pretty cool. I like the look of Yultide Ezekiel. We've had like Santa Ezekiel in the past, and that was in the, I think, the 5-star era quite a long time ago, but Yultide Ezekiel coming here. And on the left hand side you can see we got Shiva in his art as well, as we did have Shiva as the Christmas character last year effectively, so kind of like tying in there. Also in the background you can see he's like on a throne, obviously King Ezekiel, but it's kind of Christmas tree like with the star and stuff like that. I do like this quite a lot, honestly. If we look at the stats on this character, level 1440, limit break 3, he has got 28,613 attack, 23,973 defense, and 24,746 HP. Alert character like I showed before. He's going to be a support character, mythic character of course, and another character to join the Winter Kingdom Allegiance. Now first of all we'll look at his adrenaline rush, and it's called Normal Holiday. It's a 55 AP cost rush, so pretty fast for an attack team. Make 2 critical attacks against an enemy for 300% damage, 600% total. That enemy gets stunned for 2 turns. So obviously, something to note here, guaranteed crit hits are going to come in. It's going to tie into some other things in Ezekiel's kit. That is obviously going to potentially be good for mods in terms of crit multiplier and stuff like that. It is only onto 1 enemy, but if he takes down the enemy with the first hit, it will go on to a random second enemy, as it always does. The stun comes in afterwards. It's hard to know if that's good or bad, whether it's better to come in first or better to come in afterwards. Because if it comes in first, you can potentially like nullify weapons, but he is a support character, so that's got a good chance of happening anyway. But it can potentially play in with mods where you get like defense while stunned, so it can be a negative there. So it's basically like a bit of one, a bit of the other, you know, it's the way it goes. I think it's actually a pretty decent rush in terms of just like what it's meant to do. It does tie into like other parts of his kit, like I say. He is more of a support character. It does reasonable damage. You can make it higher. His base damage isn't terrible. It's only just shy of 30,000, even if he is not really considered like a major damage dealer. Okay, so we have got the adrenaline rush of Ezekiel here, and I'm going to rush the central character, the leader. And if we do take out the character with 1 attack, then it will go on to a random other character, just the way it goes. As you can see, the attack comes in, and then the second attack comes in here. These are guaranteed crits, so you don't have to build crit on Zeke. You know, 1535s, I guess, can be useful, but it's not really needed for his rush because he's got guaranteed crit hits here. And you can see some other stuff has happened as well. People ask me why I use these sort of defense teams, and it's so you can plainly see what has happened when someone does their rush and so on and so forth, rather than being loads of buffs and everything everywhere. Because these videos are about how a character mechanically works, guys. I have to bring this up every couple of months because I see people ask every now and again, just so you realise. Now if we look at the upgrades on the Adrenaline Rush, you can see at grade 3 it gets +1 attack. So initially it's just a single crit hit, but grade 3 is just 1 copy, so that's not too hard to come by. After 2 copies at grade 5, it is going to be 100% damage boost. So initially it is going to be 200% damage, making it 400% total. Then it will go to 300% damage, making it 600% total. Then lastly at LB2, the upgrade, that enemy gets stunned for 2 turns. It's worth noting that if you take out the enemy that you do this on, that enemy will of course be taken out and they won't be stunned. So not necessarily one that you want to actually do against someone who is low HP as a finishing move, unless you don't really care whether that character gets stunned or not. Obviously it's up to you. Now we'll get on to the passives in a minute, where you're going to see why some of those other things were happening in the fight. And you can see they're just going to get amplified because there was 2 things that happened. Defense down and impair were not part of this rush, but you can see that it's going to enhance this rush potential just because of other things that are in his kit. So like I said, we'll get on to that in a minute. But I think this rush As a standalone, it's okay, but with those things added on top, it gets much nicer indeed. He's much more of a support character, as you can obviously tell. He's not really there to be that nuke character within the Winter Kingdom. That's meant to be Harrison, but you, of course, can use other damage dealers as well. You could use like Sophia, Raven, Agent 46, 3 of the bigger damage dealers that have been released recently. So he's definitely going to combo well with these characters, with the sort of control that he can do, defense down, that sort of thing. Now, next up is the signature move. It is called Merry Kingdom. Initial cooldown of turn 1, cooldown of 2 turns, number of uses unlimited. This character gets 100% stun and impair resistance for 3 turns. Make 3 attacks against an enemy for 200% damage, 600% total. So this is a turn 1 signature move, and it's going to do as much damage as his Adrenaline Rush, which is actually kind of interesting. It's not guaranteed crit, so you would obviously have to hit 3 crits for that to do as much damage, but it's actually kind of cool there. This character getting 100% stun and impair resistance for 3 turns off of turn 1 is really good as well, especially against characters that have things like stun on defense, so on and so forth. That does mean you can freely rush these alert characters without any problems, or freely, signature move any of these alert characters without any problems, because it comes in before the attacks do on his Sigmu. So unless someone has something that is going to happen before Ezekiel can do his signature move, for instance, at the beginning of a wave, or, on a leader skill or something like that, where it could potentially impair, or it could potentially stun, then it's going to be, pretty nice for Zeke. And you can obviously just use the combat mod situation to go for something else in terms of resist. So you can go for confuse resist, you can go for taunt resist. These are 2 of the bigger resist potentials in there, stun and impair. And it is against the tough and alert teams where you're going to mainly face this. So that's actually kind of good for Ezekiel against what is generally the bigger teams at the moment on defense. Okay, we're here on turn 1, and I'm going to do the signature move of Ezekiel, and I'm going to target Nor up here on the top. And she has got a stun on defense weapon. It might not proc just because he's a support character, but we have 60% weapons out there right now, and those are going to proc much more often. And you're going to see that 100% resist goes above his head as a speech bubble straight away. When I do the swipe left, you can see it's already there, and he's doing his attacks. It did say immune, so it did proc. You saw the immunity proc up, and that's obviously going to be really nice when it comes to, you can see the focus on Nor, because it did proc the focus stun, but he's not been stunned because of these immunities. Now, if you do want to take advantage of the fact that Ezekiel has boosts when he gets crits in some other parts of his kit, which we will look at later, you're going to have to give him some crit potential here, be it 1535 on him or adjacent teammates, or a crit buff in the team somewhere, somehow, because that's when you're going to get some boost on this signature move, just like you saw on the rush. Those are guaranteed crits on the rush. On the signature move, it is completely RNG. If we look at the upgrades, you can see at grade 2, it gets an upgrade where this character gets 100% stun resistance for 3 turns. And at grade 4, it gets the upgrade where this character gets 100% impair resistance for 3 turns. These are going to come in before grade 5, so obviously only 1 copy required, not too bad. At limit break 1, it's going to get +1 attack, so it is initially just 2 attacks of 200% damage, 400% total. And then it gets boosted up to 3 attacks of 200% for 600% total. And at LB3, it gets -1 to starting cooldown, so you can do it off of turn 1 if you so wish. And obviously, that's going to be very useful just in terms of getting those resistances on your character, because it helps for when he attacks, and also when he actually gets attacked. If someone has some sort of stun in their kit, for instance, I think we do have like Circuit on defense, who does a stun or 2 stuns, I think, on her signature move. And we also have other characters that do things like impair, like Wangfire and stuff like that. So there are going to be some characters that already are heavily used that Ezekiel is going to just avoid having issues with. Now again, this character is not meant to be a massive damage dealer. I will show you the full potential of this signature move in combination with his passives when he has heavier crit rate, just to show you the potential of what it can bring to the table. But before we move on to those passives, we are going to be doing a giveaway, and that is of course because Yultide Ezekiel is an ultra token character. And that means one lucky winner will get themselves 10,000 Ultra tokens in this giveaway. And all you have to do to enter is type the keyword in the chat as part of a larger sentence. Make sure it's in the comments down below and not in the live chat. And all you have to type is Shiva. Because Shiva is on the left-hand side, you can type Shiva and get into the giveaway. It's as simple as that. The draw will be held probably on the first Monday in the new year, I believe, if I get my days correct. Best of luck if you do enter. Now back to the video. So now we do have Yultide Ezekiel's passives. These are the mythic abilities that he's going to bring to the table. He has got Cunning because he's a support character where he's got 30% less chance to proc weapons when being attacked or when attacking. This also works against walkers. Next one is called Spread the Cheer. When this character performs a critical hit, 100% chance one other enemy gets 40% defense down for 2 turns. So on the rush, you saw the potential. We saw it actually come out where 2 characters had defense down straight away. But the potential on this signature move is huge. You can have 3 characters off of turn 1 if he goes first, having 40% defense down. Him teamed up with someone like Sophia or any other character that has very good damage off of a Sig move. It's going to be so good because obviously defense down means that they're going to have better chance to do more damage, get the takedowns, get bonuses based on the rest of their kits as well. And then if we look at the next one, it's called A Gift for You. When attacking, 60% chance to impair the enemy for 2 turns. We saw that on the first Adrenaline Rush where we did impair the enemy. It was Alice on that second hit. And that's obviously very nice indeed. It means someone cannot gain AP. Not let alone they can't rush, they just can't gain AP. And that's going to be 3 hits at 60% chance. It doesn't even have to crit, so it's just going to be 60% chance 3 times against the enemy of your choice at the beginning of the fight to just impair them. If there is someone with a naughty rush that you do not like, you can basically be the deliverer of the coal in that situation. And lastly, we have Comfy Suit. This character gets counter damage reduction, taking minus 50% of the counter damage they would normally receive. This is quite nice. He has got a lot of multi-hits. It's going to be when he does attacks and also when someone else does attacks and he would take the counter damage. So that's actually kind of nice. Okay, so here we go again on the signature move. This time I have got a little bit of crit on Ezekiel just to show you the potential here. We're going to attack Alice up the top. We're going to do 3 separate attacks. 1, 2, and 3. Now you noticed it happened very slowly, which I actually kind of like in terms of the defense down happened 1 at a time. Normally you just know if you've hit the crits because it just does it all at the same time. But you see 3 characters now with defense down on the team. We also see the character that we attacked is impaired, and that is very nice indeed. I believe the impair that is currently on Maggie is from Laura. So obviously there are other team-ups that you can have on Ezekiel to get some other characters control. But this is really nice. Going on any of these defense down characters here with someone who has immense damage, like a Sophia, like a Raven, they're going to definitely get obliterated in this circumstance. And that's going to be very good, especially for characters like Sophia because of the follow-up. And that's going to work very nicely indeed. Obviously, they team up with characters that are going to be in the Winter Kingdom as well. Harrison has that line signature move off of the start. 2 characters having minus 40% defense is going to help a lot to get them taken out and decapped in that case. So we'll go over the passives, and you can see at grade 1, he gets the first half of Spread the Cheer, making it 50% chance one other enemy gets minus 40% defense for 2 turns when he hits a critical attack. At grade 2, he gets the first half of Cunning, making it 15% less likely to trigger enemy weapon effects when he attacks them or when he gets attacked by them. This works against walkers, of course, as well. At grade 3, he's going to get the second half of Spread the Cheer, making it 100% chance another enemy gets minus 40% defense when he hits a critical attack. This is obviously great. It works with his rush, signature move, basic attacks. At grade 4, you can see he gets the first half of A Gift for You. When attacking, 20% chance to impair the enemy for 2 turns. At grade 5, he gets the first half of Comfy Suit. This character gets counter damage reduction, taking minus 20% of the counter damage they would normally receive. And I believe this would stack with the one from Harrison, like I said before. And then when we move on to the limit breaks, you can see Cunning 2 comes in at limit break 1, where it goes up to 30% less likely to trigger weapon effects against walkers and humans when attacked and when attacking. At limit break 2, he gets the second half of A Gift for You, making it 60% chance to impair an enemy he attacks. And this is going to work with that triple hit on that signature move, the double hit on that rush. That's obviously going to be very useful. And then lastly, at limit break 3, he's going to have the second half of Comfy Suit 2, making it a grand total of 50% reduction that he would get from counter damage that he would normally receive. I think his passives are quite nice, really nice for a support character. Obviously, you're going to have that really heavy hitting damage dealer next to Ezekiel. That is not what he's meant to do. But boy, does he enable those damage dealers to do way more damage. That guaranteed defense down when he hits a crit is going to be so useful indeed. you know, characters that already do bonus damage against people with bonus HP, or, you know, if they're stunned, for instance, in Raven's case, having extra defense down on top is going to be absolutely immense. And I think the team up with Ezekiel is going to be really, really good, especially as he's got that first turn signature move. He can just do it straight away and obviously get some really nice stuff on the enemies instantly, and your damage dealers can basically take their pick of who they want to take down. I like this quite a lot when it comes to Zeke. Very nice support character, very nice support passives, but there is something very special that he brings to the table as well. And that is going to be his specialist skill. It is Normalizer. We did kind of get a sneak peek of this because one of the faction assault characters actually has this. I believe it's the Joshua on the governor stage when you go up against Gabe. He actually has Normalizer. Pretty frustrating to deal with even in the faction assault, but having this on your side on an attack team is going to be very nice. When this character performs a critical hit, they apply Normalize for 1 turn to the target. Now do remember, you get 3 chances of hitting a crit on his signature move. You get 2 chances at guaranteed crits on his rush. Now they can of course be resisted, but you can of course, you know, obviously attack characters that don't have any resistance potential, be it non-tanks or characters that aren't on Rick teams. But you get extra chances, which is very nice indeed. You only have to hit the crit for it to work. And because Ezekiel is not really a massive damage dealer, you could even target someone like Jesus, you could target someone like Peacekeeper, and the worst case scenario is you're probably going to proc something like Bide, but because he has built into his passives the reduction to reflect, that works with Bide itself, so he's going to take 50% base less damage off of Bide. Okay, so we're going to test this out against this Jesus here, and we're going to do a little bit of damage off the start, just because we want to build that Bide up a little bit. We don't want it to proc on, obviously, my characters here, but we want to see if it can proc with Ezekiel, and we want to see how much damage he takes. So if we do the signature move, oh, we're not going to take Bide. That's right, because we hit a critical attack, we're not actually going to proc it. So he is normalized in this case. That is pretty interesting. But I think he just did cleanse it. So maybe we can make it proc here. Oh, we did actually normalize him again. This is obviously, this is what he's there for. He's to normalize the thing that can potentially be an issue. And because he doesn't hit super hard like I've already shown, it's not going to have a good chance of proccing stuff. So even if he doesn't hit those things, you know, quickly, he hasn't got a good chance of even proccing things to make it a problem. That's actually pretty cool. So very interesting specialist skill, of course. This has multiple times to proc on the signature move. Has multiple chances to proc on that rush as well, of course. And then the basic attacks still have a chance to proc. I would say you probably want to build some crit on this character. He's not really about the damage, especially with this here. It's all about the support potential on Ezekiel. Hitting those crits seems extremely important indeed. Now he does have an attached weapon, and you can see it in all its glory here. It's a bit harder to see when he's holding his hands as a walking cane, but it's Yultide Ezekiel's candy cane gun, and you can see it here. It looks very interesting. It has got 40% attack, a huge bonus to AP when attacking, attack boost versus normalized. All teammates get 50% attack when attacking normalized enemies, and this cannot be disarmed apparently, even though it's in the 3rd slot. The 4th slot says Winter Kingdom Allegiance. All Winter Kingdom Allegiance teammates get 7% attack for each Winter Kingdom Allegiance teammate on the team. And this would obviously go up to a grand total of 35% attack. That was quick math. If there were 5 Winter Allegiance teammates on the team. It doesn't say all other Winter Kingdom Allegiance teammates, so potentially Ezekiel even gets the buff himself, but it doesn't really mean that much if he does. Like I say, he's more of a support character anyway. Now, he doesn't actually need a huge bonus to AP when attacking. It's kind of interesting because he's a 55 AP character, and this could be one of the very, very few circumstances where it's beneficial to swap out that huge bonus for just crit chance and just making that 30 crit chance and then increasing the attack to 50%, just because he has a quick signature move turnaround. He gains 35 AP from doing his signature move, 20 from doing basic attacks, and that's 55 from the first 2 attacks, as is the norm. You don't need any bonuses from the huge bonus AP to get up to 30 on those basic attacks. It just isn't required. Very interesting weapon in terms of the buffs, very interesting weapon in terms of the looks as well. So that is Gold Mythic Yultide Ezekiel, and he is going to be, like I said, an Ultra Toku character coming to the game. and he looks like a really good support character indeed. I do like support characters that, you know, basically boost the potential of other characters. He's very good on an attack team for sure. The potential of you know, your damage to this is going to be increased with the likes of Ezekiel in the team. You know, the Normalize on there as well is going to be very nice. It is only going to last for 1 turn, but it is still very nice. You can obviously get up again the next turn if you so wish as well. Do tell me your thoughts on Yultide Ezekiel in the comments down below. Don't forget to enter the giveaway if you want to have a chance at winning 10,000 Ultra tokens. That is the end of my video though, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.